If you're thinking about getting some glass containers for food prep or food storage, I've got a lot of good things to say about these, and by golly, I'm gonna say them. So let's get to it. Hey everybody, my name is Dennis, and I've spent 10 years and thousands of hours researching nutrition and applying it to my from-scratch cooking. Before we get into the pros and cons of these Pyrex containers, I want to talk specs. What are they? Pyrex has a number of different sets that are pretty similar, but the one that I have particularly is the Pyrex Simply Store 20-piece set with gray lids. The set has 10 glass containers and a matching plastic lid for each container, so 10 containers, 10 lids, 20 pieces total. It comes with 5 of the small 1-cup containers, 3 of the 2-cup containers, 1 4-cup container, and finally 1 7-cup container. The weights range from about 1.5 pounds for the largest container down to just a few ounces for the small ones. There's links in the description if you would like to purchase it, and it'll run you about $40 if you purchase it from the Pyrex website. However, at the time of recording this video, it is currently out of stock on the Pyrex website. So I included a couple links, one of them to a very similar set, also on the Pyrex website, and then I included a link to a different set, which is on Amazon if you want to purchase it from Amazon. Now let's get to the pros. What do I like about these containers? Pro number 1 is a reduced chemical exposure. As a society, we've gotten into a bad habit of storing food in plastic containers. We then wash those containers and reuse them, and this wears down the plastic so that we're now leaching chemicals into our food. That's disgusting. This can cause a lot of toxicity in the body, so avoiding plastic in food storage is really important if you don't want glow-in-the-dark hair. Which, now that I mention it out loud, it actually sounds pretty cool. Hey, can we start using plastic containers? Pro number 2 is that they all stack securely and nest in each other. As you can see, they all stack really nicely when they have their lids on and they're in use, but they also stack when you take the lids off. As you can see here, it's really secure and it makes for a very low profile when it's in the cabinet, not in use. They also nest really nicely in each other, so again, they won't take up much space when they're not in use. And because they nest and stack, if you really wanted, you could do this. So if you really want to save space, this is a viable option. It just might be kind of difficult to access the 4-cup or the 7-cup. Do what you want. Pro number 3 is they have really high quality glass. As you can see here, the walls are pretty thick. This means that they're sturdy and they can take a hit without breaking. But also, this is actually really smooth glass. And in comparison, I bought a different container. It's very similar, but it's actually an Anchor Hawking brand. And what I was really disappointed to see was that the edges here are actually kind of sharp on the bottom, and this has caused me to actually cut myself on it. So when I found that these Pyrex ones were really smooth, I was very happy with that. Pro number 4 is that they're oven safe, and this is huge for food prep because you can get your meals ready, store them in the container with the lid in the fridge, right? And then when you're ready to cook it, you just take the lid off, take it out of the fridge, and stick it in the oven, and this is the container that you're gonna heat it up with, so it saves on dishes. And also, I've even taken it straight from the fridge when the glass is cold and put it into a preheated oven, and it works fine. Usually when you take glass or ceramic that's cold and put it into a hot oven, it makes it crack or explode, but it's a testament to the quality of this glass that I've been able to take it from the fridge into the hot oven and be fine. Along the same lines, pro number 5 is that it's freezer safe. And again, this is huge for food prep because you can get your meals ready early in the week, store it in the freezer, and then take it out into the fridge like the day before and go from the fridge to the oven. I don't recommend going straight from the freezer to the oven because then you're probably gonna crack the glass, but that's why I say just take it out a day before, stick it in the fridge, and then go to the oven when you're ready to cook it the next day. I will say though, be careful when freezing liquids in these containers because water expands when it freezes, so it'll probably be okay if you just put like a little bit in there, but if you fill it all the way up, you're probably gonna break your dish. Pro number 6 is that the lids are watertight, so if we put some water in here, and then we close up the lid, here we go. We can just do this and it doesn't spill, which is super nice to keep the fridge clean, but also because there is no air exchange, the food is actually gonna stay fresh for longer because it's not gonna oxidize and spoil. Pro number 7 is that it's dishwasher safe. Now, if you're using plastic containers in the dishwasher, you need to be careful and only put them on the top shelf so that they don't warp and melt. But with these glass containers, they're heat resistant. You can put them on the top or bottom shelf. You don't need to worry about them warping with a heat dry. And being able to put these containers on the bottom rack means that I'm more likely to be able to fit all of the dishes into one load versus making multiple dishwasher loads. So it saves water, I guess. If you can't tell by now, I love these containers and I could go on about the positives of them for a while longer. But I do want to bring up one thing that I don't love about them, and that is the plastic lids. So I mentioned earlier about chemicals leaching into your food when you use plastic storage containers. The main chemical that people are worried about right now is called BPA, and these are advertised as BPA free, but I've mentioned in other videos on the channel that BPA free doesn't mean that it's free from other harmful chemicals. When companies advertise that their plastics are BPA free, generally what that means is that they've substituted a different harmful chemical instead of using BPA. So they might not use BPA, but they're using BPS or diphenyl sulfone instead, which are both at least as bad as BPA. It's just that fewer studies have been done on them. I would love to see a company like Pyrex develop a natural material lid that also has a strong watertight seal, but as of now, I don't know of any on the market. So final thoughts. Despite the issue with the lid, I think that these are a huge step up from plastic storage containers. They're high quality, they're versatile, and they just look really nice. So they're dentist approved. If you want to see more videos about kitchen products that I love, go check out my channel and consider subscribing for kitchen tools, nutritious cooking, and healthy living. That's about it.